Hello! You survived day 1 of homeschooling. Congratulations! We did it. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I was having technical difficulties. For sure. Okay. How did it go? You're all alive. I also had to make myself a drink really quick to celebrate surviving. Cheers! How did it go? Let me know. Y'all have got to talk to me today. Talk to me because I need some social interaction. For real. Say hello as you get on. Let me know how your quarantine's going. Today we got a shelter in place order for our town. So it's not that different than what we had before. It's just don't leave home like you weren't leaving before, and then don't congregate. But the restaurants are still open for to-go orders. It's awesome. Anyway, let me know. Kimberly, I'm still a teacher and my kids still cried during schoolwork. I was pleasantly surprised with how today went with Liam. I'm eventually going to add more stuff in for Finley. She's just 4. But some of you may not even know me because this is posted in my light bulbs group that has been getting added to all day. So anyway, I should probably tell you who Liam and Finley are. I am Melanie Chapman. I am a certified elementary school teacher. I am certified from early childhood through 6th grade. I taught 9 years in the classroom and am now, I am a stay-at-home mom and a homeschool teacher. My son does go to public school, but here we are all homeschooling together. If you're on here and you're homeschooling, let me know how old your kids are. What are they doing well? What are they struggling with? Let me know what you'd want me, any questions that you have right now for me that you'd like me to go over. And I'm feeling super proud of myself because I actually put a real shirt on and some earrings because I felt like I needed to be somewhat presentable. Anyway, like I was saying, I have 7-year-old Liam and I have a 4-year-old Finley. Liam is in 2nd grade and is really he's killing it on his own. Finley is just a different creature. She's not as into learning as Liam has always been. And so anyway, I'm not gonna lie though, this year has been a little different than all the years before. Kimberly, 7th grade AP math. Did your dad teach science or math? It was science, wasn't it? So never mind. I have been private tutoring for the past year. It's been amazing. I help kids from kindergarten to 6th grade. And I could probably even push it maybe to 7th grade, but it takes me a minute. I gotta go Google some stuff and figure out how to do it, but it's fine. Yeah, science. Okay. That's what I thought. It's fine, but let me know how today went. Let me know what went well. Let me know what you struggled with and we'll kind of talk about it. But I just have, been wanting to kind of make this community called Light Bulbs for a long time. I've actually had just in my journaling and stuff and trying to figure out how to help kids on a bigger scale. I'm used to having 20 kids a year, but I know that there are more kids that need me than that even. And so I do have one-on-one tutoring right now, but I've wanted to make this group for a really long time. So if you're not in the Light Bulbs group yet, I am on my personal page right now. I just wanted more people to be able to see it and know about the Light Bulbs group that maybe haven't seen my posts about it yet. So if you're not in it, you can, actually, I was gonna, see, this is what I have my laptop and my phone and the iPad. All of it was charged to get ready for today. So I am actually going to comment on and try to pin it. We'll see, the link to the group. And then that way you can click on that link and go join it, because I'm going to start going live in there instead of on here. I did it. Okay, let's see if I can pin it. Yay! Okay, so the comment is now pinned. That is the link to the group that I made. It's called Light Bulbs, and it's going to be tips and tricks and everything for you to be able to get through this. So we are on lockdown for the whole month of April as of now, and so this is going to be a month. You're going to be tested. Your will is going to be tested, and it's just really nice seeing people have, and I know that most people have gratitude to teachers, but they're really kind of seeing it come full circle. But so here we go. Let me just jump right in. Here are some tips to help this maybe go a little bit smoother that I'm going to try with my own kids, and I hope that it helps you too. So the first thing that I want to say, and something that we've always done in my classroom at the beginning of the year, and even when we came back from breaks and stuff, we would revisit all of it, but is to let the kids be a part of rule making and schedule making. You can kind of scaffold this in a way where you're still kind of in control of it, but if they feel like they have a part in creating the schedule or creating the rules, they're going to hold themselves accountable a little bit more, and you can hold them accountable and say, you know what, you agreed with me that this is how this was going to work, and we agreed that this is what we were going to do during this time. So it's just something that kind of like includes them and makes them feel a little bit more in control of their own day, especially since they've been thrown a kink too. They miss school. Kids crave discipline and routine, and once that gets thrown off, I'm sure you've noticed at home, they kind of go bonkers. So make some new norms for your house. Like, this is new for everybody. Get a piece of paper and sit down with your kids and say, okay, we need new rules for school at home. What do you think are some good ideas? And they'll probably come up with some stuff that you didn't even think about. Some good ones I would say to agree on is, when it's time to do schoolwork, it's time to do schoolwork. And when we need a break, you can mention a break, but we don't need too many. So in the classroom, I would always, we would agree on that. And then we'd have rules about talking. We'd have rules about being respectful. We would have rules about when it's time to try things on our own. And then we'd have rules, of course, for like tattling and all the things you can think of. And we didn't really call them rules. We called it a behavior agreement. So it was like this contract that we put on a big poster board, and all the kids signed it, and we hung it up for the whole year. And anytime somebody would like break one of these agreements, you would just say, okay, you signed this, dude. Like, you agreed to do these things, and here you are not doing them. What can we do better? It doesn't have to be a screaming match. It doesn't have to be a fight the entire time. And I know it's going to be hard because they're your own kids, and it's going to be a completely different situation than it is at school. But the one thing I learned from teaching almost a decade is, don't argue with 7-year-olds. Like, you are in charge. You've got this. If they're throwing a fit, let them have their moment. You don't put up with that. They can talk to you when they're calm. Don't devalue the fact that they're frustrated. Calmly talk through it. It's going to be hard, because it's hard for me, because I used to be a yeller, hands down a yeller. But it takes some practice, but you'll get there. I promise. So let them be a part of that. Let them be a part of making the rules. Let them be a part of their schedule. And your schedule doesn't necessarily have to be like a daily thing. I want to show you a little bit of what Liam's school at home stuff looks like. So Amarillo and Canyon posted all of their work on their school websites. Let me see if I can find it so I can show you. So this is what City Views looks like. I don't know if you can see that. It just has the different grade levels on there. So Liam's in 2nd grade. So they're posting them weekly, just like they would plan them weekly at school. You can read all the things, you scroll down, and this is what I want you to see. Just because it's in the order that it's in on here doesn't necessarily mean that's the order that you need to do these things in. I will say, though, that I would do reading first. The earlier you do reading practice, the better it's going to go. Their brains are just more apt to focusing better in the morning than after they've been thinking for half day. It just through experience, just trust me on this, it just goes better. So try to do reading in the morning if you can, spelling words, word work, things like that. Do that in the morning if you can. And then I also want to say, it doesn't have to be the same schedule every day. What we're doing is we're looking at the next day, the night before or the day before, and I'm having him read through all of his expectations for the next day, and he's going to decide what we're going to put reading first, just because, it's got to be first. Because if he gets too tired, he really doesn't want to read. Reading at night for homework is like pulling teeth out of his head. And so the earlier you can do reading, I would. But just kind of look at what are some, basically the mandatory ones. On ours, they have work to turn in under certain things, and sometimes there's not work to turn in. So if you've got a really busy day and you're working from home, figure out what are your non-negotiables. Like, figure out what is the most important thing for that day that your teacher has listed on the schedule. Figure out what's due, figure out what they need to turn in, and go from there. And start with those and get them done, so that if they don't get one of the others done that doesn't have anything to turn in, it's not the end of the world. My number one tip during this is give yourself some damn grace, because we're all new to this. I taught in a classroom for 9 years, but I've never homeschooled my kid. Obviously, we've done some learning things, but it hasn't been like a mandatory, like, you have to do this, Melanie, or your kid's going to regress. And so this is new for all of us. Just take it day by day. And if your schedule doesn't work out for whatever reason, it's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the same on a daily basis. Now, I will say that it's going to be harder for the people who have multiple children that are in school. It's probably going to be easier to have a set schedule every day. But if you kind of, again, put your kids in control of their learning and their schedule, they're going to be more likely to take control over it and, keep themselves accountable. So there's that. Another thing that I would say is to make this learning time as hands-on as you can. So, for example, in Liam's thing today for math, they're doing time. And he did what he was supposed to be doing. They were supposed to play a game until they got a certain score for practice, and then screenshot it and turn it in that they did it. Also, I have been asking him all day what time it is. Is it annoying him? Yes. But it's also hands-on, and he understands now why he needs to know this. I had to whip out my analog clock for him to do this, but it's going to add learning to his day and make him understand why he has to know these things. So making it as hands-on as possible is amazing. Changing it up, I would say, please don't make your kids sit in a chair at the kitchen table all day long until they're done with all of this. I promise you that's not going to go well 9 times out of 10. Let them be comfortable. I was a huge proponent, like my words, y'all. I don't even know what day it is. Advocate, there it is. That's the word I wanted. For the words are just gone. Seating. Like, I wanted to make my room start flexible seating. For the love of all that's holy. Okay. Flexible seating in my classroom. We had bean bags. We had floor seats. We had rugs to lay on. They could sit on yoga balls. They could stand up. They could do whatever. Because do you like sitting at a desk all day? No, I have to move around. I have to be comfortable, but don't get too comfortable. I always told them that I was the queen of the seats, and if I needed to move them away from someone, I could, and if I needed to switch them seats because they weren't focusing, I could. So let them be comfortable. They're at home. Don't force them to sit in a hard chair at a table and do worksheets all day. If there are worksheets to do, get them done. Set a timer. A timer will be your best freaking friend. Just say, especially for younger ones, if you make it a race somehow, telling them, hey, I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to see how much of this you can get done. And if you get to at least here, we can take a break. And that is the next thing. Brain breaks are so freaking important. It's unbelievable. So what we went by is your child has the attention span equal to their age. So if they're 7, you've got them for 7 minutes max, and that's pushing it. If they're 5, you've got them for 5 minutes. If they're 10, you've got them for 10 minutes. And that doesn't mean they're done after 10 minutes. That just means they need a little time to just like distract themselves for a little while, let the knowledge sink in, and go with it. You know how in college when you tried to study all night long and you didn't remember any of it, it would have been better for you to just go to sleep. Because when you sleep, you actually it actually sinks into your brain a little bit more. A switch flips. I don't want to like get too sciencey on you, but a switch flips when you sleep and you rest, and it lets your brain absorb all the information that you've been putting into it. So brain breaks are amazing. My absolute favorite brain break app, website, or whatever is GoNoodle. I'm sure you've heard of it. If you're a teacher, you've definitely heard of it. It's basically the YouTube of brain breaks. They're going to do dances. They're going to be doing like just different movements and crossing the midline and making all of these things stick again to give their brain a little rest so that they can absorb the knowledge. So GoNoodle, if you don't know what it is, look it up. It's free. There's GoNoodle Pro that you can pay for if you want to. You don't need to. It's most definitely free for teachers, but it's even free at home. So GoNoodle. Get a GoNoodle. I don't care how old you are. The dances are fun, and I loved doing them in my classroom. 6th grade and pretty much need, oh, here comes a bunch of stuff. 6th grade and pretty much need help with everything. Okay, are you in my light bulb group? Click the link and then come back. And click the link, join the group, and then come back. And then I'll have some options too that I can, I'll tell you about it here at the end. But brain breaks, super important, like the most important. Now, they don't need to be half an hour long brain breaks. They can be 3 minutes max. And just giving them the time to just wiggle around, especially the younger ones, even the older ones. Like if they need to go take a walk, if they need to go change the scenery that they've been in, y'all, we're all stuck in the house. I don't know about y'all, but I am going stir crazy. Like I've been trying to eat in a different room of the house just to change it up, and I just can't. Like the kids are going stir crazy. Don't get onto them for not staying at the kitchen table in a chair until they're done. That's a lot. So as I said before, timers are going to be your best friend. Have them work in spurts. However old they are is how long their attention span is going to be. Go with that. And I'll talk more about that later in my group. But timers, brain breaks. The next thing I want to say is some people were a little confused at how the online school stuff is working in general. I don't know how they're doing it like across the state, but Amarillo and Canyon are doing it almost exactly the same. It's just on their website. If you go, like for Canyon, it's canyonISD.org or net or something, just Google it. But it's right at the top. It's right here. It says school at home. This is a link. You click on it. You click on it. Oh, it worked. And then you come down here and you pick your school. And obviously there's just 1 week in there right now. There'll be more next week. And then you go from there. So there are daily activities in here. Our guidance counselor put her lessons in there. Our librarian put her lessons in there. Those are just extras. If you have time and you want to get it done, perfect. So Liam's in 2nd, so he has word study, which just means spelling words and sight words. And all they're doing is they do it a little different. They just choose 5 and they kind of go back to those and circle back to all the other ones so that it's not just a certain 5. They're learning all of them at the same time. So that's spelling. I'm going to be going over a lot of ways to do spelling words, a lot of ways to do sight words. We're going to have a lot of fun with those. Sight words are always good for everybody. You look all cute and put together. I look haggard and beat. You're welcome. I wasn't 10 seconds ago. This is like a really hot mess day for ponytail. I switched shirts. I still have a sports bra on and I threw some earrings on. I have leggings and fuzzy socks on. So I'm really not that put together. I just thought I should do something so you didn't have to look at it. So and then there's reading on here. They just put a lot of good apps on here. Now and a lot of the apps are paid apps or they're paid websites. So depending on the school, they're going to have different access to different things. So we have access to Epic and we have access to Bookflix. Everybody has access to Storyline Online. That's an amazing website where celebrities read their favorite children's books and they're animated and they're amazing. And then you've got Ranger Rick and you've got DK Find Out. It's just, there's a lot of different places. Scholastic is a really good resource. And also their books are super cheap. Like they sell their paperback versions of their books all the time and they're super cheap. And then what else? Let me look on here. What else did I download? I guess that's all. But Epic is what we use. Khan Kids is good. Raz Kids, it's also called Kids A to Z. Those are all good. These are just kind of the apps that I've got right now that are going. Some of them are older that we've used before. But the reading stuff is, if you don't have a ton of books at home, there are so many resources and they're super affordable. Like Epic, I think, is probably free right now. I've had it forever. I'm not sure. I haven't even looked at the App Store. But through all of this, a lot of them are actually doing discounts and a lot of them might actually even be free. So if you need some resources for that, just check your kids' schedules and stuff and they'll probably have the passwords that are available for those. But they're not expensive. Like maybe $5 at the most to download these apps. And some of them are free. Storyline Online is free for sure. And there's plenty of books in there. And then what else? So writing, you're going to need to find probably a journal somewhere or some paper or whatever. You can journal anywhere. You can type out a journal. This is a great time for younger kids to learn keyboarding. My kid wrote his teacher a note this morning that had every single emoji in it, I'm pretty sure. She wrote back and was like, wow, I didn't know you loved emojis so much. I'm sure they're learning a lot, getting to talk to the kids one-on-one. But just if you have any questions about how yours works, shoot me a message or actually post it in the light bulbs group. There's a question thread in there. It's in the announcements. It's the question post. Put any specific questions that you have for any assignments that your kids have. And I'll either answer them in that thread or I may even do a video if I think it's going to help a bunch of different people. But I digress. So if you're confused about how your school at home actually works, let me know. And I will help you with that because most of them did it in Google and we've been using Google for a while. So if you're not familiar with that, let me know and feel free to ask me. So also I wanted to point this out. This is going to be your favorite thing ever. You're going to feel like a grown ass teacher when you see this. Okay. So on the side, you've got these little numbers and little do's. These are called TEKS if you're in Texas, or student expectations. Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills is what TEKS stands for. Some of them, people call them TEKS. If you call them TEKS, you're weird. But anyway, they're here and this is the objective that they're creating lessons from. So trust me when I say this, you're going to download this app. It's called Lead Forward. Lead Forward. And 4 is the number 4. the hell did it go? I can't find it. I know it's on here. Where did you go? It's going to be amazing when I find, okay, it looks like this. It looks like this. Stupid cover. It's this little blue circle. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Lead Forward. L-E-A-D, the number 4, W-A-R-D. Now, this is going to be your best friend whilst you're a homeschool teacher. Because, and I just want you to download it and play with it because I'm going to actually do an in-depth training on this app. And if you're a teacher, you need this app like years ago if you haven't ever heard of it. Surely you have, especially if you work in Canyon. But there are so many cool things in this app. And the home, gosh dang it. The home screen looks like this. It's got a timer on it. Like I said, you're going to want a timer while you teach your children. It has a timer on it. And the 4 things here are quick checks, think it up, resources, content builders, and professional learning. And when you get in here and you want to use that, all that really is a timer. Because again, you've got their attention for however old they are. The equal amount of minutes for how old they are. So they're 7, you have them for 7 minutes. Set a timer for 7 minutes. Stop and check that they're understanding what they're doing. Okay. So there's that. There's quick check ideas, how to check their learning, how to check and make sure that they're understanding it in just different ways. And then think it up is going to be the different types of TEKS. So you're going to look at the objectives on the schedule, like on your teacher's plans that they put in there, and find the verb. Does it say analyze and interpret, apply, cause and effect, create, draw conclusions, evaluate? These are going to be the verbs that are in your objectives, and whatever you need to do, the questions that are there that have like blanks in them are how you're going to check for their understanding and make them think through things. Now, the best part of this app is the resource content builders right here, because this is pure gold, teacher gold. And you're a teacher now, so welcome to the club. This is teacher gold right here. This will make a lesson plan in no time. I know that your teachers have already made lesson plans. I get that. But if you're finding yourself in the middle of this month needing to switch it up a little bit, feel free, because you're teaching your kids. You are. So if you need to adjust. So these are really fun ways to mix it up. So there's academic vocabulary. Scaffold means to, like, if what you're doing isn't working, kind of adjust in the middle of it and try something else. So there's all different kinds of different scaffolding ideas. You hit that, you hit the subject. Oh, gosh dang it. You hit the subject, the grade level, and voila. There are so many different ways to change it up. And then back here, my favorite one, there's teacher learning reports and there's student learning reports. So you hit student learning, I'm trying not to get too into this. I'm going to get really in depth when I go into it. But student learning reports, you hit math, you hit the grade, and the most important things for them to learn this year are in a checklist right here in all the readiness skills. So you might just, tap on some things, ask your kids some questions, make sure they understand this stuff, because that's what they need to know before they go to the next grade. And then, so that's part of my favorite thing, but the best part is the instructional strategies. So instructional strategies, you've got movement and discourse, which means they're going to get up and learn. These are like different games to learn different things. You've got rehearsal and practice, extending thinking, like taking what you've learned and applying it, learning from mistakes. Now, I will say this. Please, 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 please. When your kid makes a mistake, please don't get frustrated, because they're just as frustrated that they got it wrong. I promise you. The importance of you creating a safe space for your kids right now is the most important thing of all. It's okay for them to be wrong. It's okay for them to fail. You learn from your mistakes. Tell them the story about Thomas Edison. Tell them the story about Walt Disney. If you don't know their stories, look them up. They failed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. And the only reason that we have light bulbs in Disney World is because those guys didn't freaking give up. And if they understand that learning means making mistakes, you're going to be golden. Now, I will say this. Download that Lead Forward app, play with it, look at all the amazing things that are in there. Again, it's LEAD, the number 4, WARD. Download it. Just trust me. As I was saying about getting things wrong. So most of the things that your teachers are planning for you to work with your kids on is going to be review, because they really don't want to put new learning on you. And then we're close to the end of the year anyway. They should have learned the majority of their readiness skills. So all of these things in here should be review. So as you're watching your kid go through their assignments, if they're struggling, I want you to do a gradual release with them, which just means that you're going to do some problems like they're trying to do, and you're going to model it over and over and over until you see a little bit of a light bulb come on. Now you know where the title of my group came from. The light bulbs that happen in children are the best things ever. It's why I stayed in the classroom for so long. It's why I still tutor. It's the best thing ever. Understanding in a child is amazing. You're going to model, especially if they just don't get it. You're going to do it in front of them without them trying to help you over and over and over again. Then you're going to do it again, but let them help you. So you're going to model it. They're going to do it. They're going to watch, kind of give you a little input. Then they're going to try it with you watching and scaffolding and helping them do it. And then they're going to try it on their own. There should have been a gazillion times that you've modeled something that they don't understand before they're trying to do it on their own. If they're sitting there trying to do something that they don't understand at all by themselves, this whole experience is going to suck for the both of you. So if it's something that you can figure out on your own, Google, y'all, is an amazing resource. Hit me up if you don't understand something too. That's why I'm here. That's why I made this group. So, but modeling without making them do it and them just getting to watch you over and over again is amazing. Then again, the gradual release part of it. You're going to do it again. They're going to give you a little input. You're going to say, okay, now what do I do? And you're going to do it. And then the next thing is them trying it with a bunch of your help still. And then, and only then, are they going to go practice on their own. So keep that in mind. They need to see it, especially if they don't understand it. That just means that this one-on-one time with you is going to be even more impactful for them. So with that, I say this, and this is probably the most important part of this entire video, is how do you want your children to remember this time? Do you want them to remember it as a yelling and screaming match? Do you want them to remember it as one of the best times of their lives, even though it was kind of scary? How do you want them to remember it? Just know that you will be the voice in their head one day. Your voice will be what they hear when they grow up. What do you want that voice to sound like? Now is the time to hone that in and to fix it if it needs fixed, adjust if it needs adjusting. How do you want them to remember this? Do you want it to be fun? Do you want to go outside and use chalk instead of pen and paper? Do you want to use the magnetic letters on the fridge? Let them type it on a computer. There are so many ways to make learning fun right now. It doesn't need to be torture. We're already in a stressful time. How do you want them to remember this is the most important part. If they don't remember all of the things you're trying to teach them, who cares? Especially if they're in younger grades, they're going to learn it eventually. Right now is a time for you to nurture your relationships with your children and your families. And that's the most important thing. Give yourself some grace. If it doesn't all get done, it doesn't all get done. Teachers are going to be giving you grace too. That's what we all need right now. We're all adjusting. None of us know what the hell we're doing. I'm just here to try and help this go a little bit smoother. So with that said, I have a few different options for you. So like I said, I am a private tutor, and right now it's a little different. We normally meet for an hour once or twice a week at the Southwest Library. So I'm hoping that once everything goes back to normal, that if that gets to start back up again. But right now I am offering 30-minute time slots instead of an hour. I just feel like that's a long time to be on FaceTime. We're going to do it over FaceTime or Zoom or however works best for you. Messenger even has that FaceTime option if we don't both have iPhones or whatever. So I'm offering 30-minute face-to-face FaceTime one-on-one sessions, and those are going to be $20 a session. Just DM me if you're interested in that. I'm going to be helping your child one-on-one. I will look, especially if it's Amarillo and Canyon, I will look at their expectations and what in their homework and everything like that. And I will go over them and work through some stuff with them. I will work over the majority of it with them in 30 minutes. Now, I will say that Canyon has been told, I've talked to my teacher friends from Canyon, and they have been told not to give more than like an hour and a half of work a day. And that can be split up. However, so if you're wanting me to get the most of that done for you, the most of that instructed for you, that's what those 30-minute one-on-one things are going to be for. The next option that I have are grade level groups. Now, these are going to be individual private groups on Facebook where I'm going to be teaching actual lessons of the readiness skills that each grade level needs the most before they go to the next grade level. You're going to be able to ask questions. You're going to be able to, have contact with me, but it's not going to be one-on-one help. If your child is if you have no idea how you're going to do this and your kid needs me, those one-on-one slots are what you're going to want to do. The grade level groups are going to be kind of like an overall thing. There's only going to be 10 kids in each grade level group. I don't want this to get overwhelming. I do want to be able to help your kids as much as I can. But this isn't going to be that, one-on-one scaffolded, adjusted, I'm reading your lesson plans thing. It's going to be more like an overview of things your kids actually need to know. So I'm going to be teaching it like I would in my classroom. It's going to be for your kids to watch in these grade level groups. And then I'm going to have activities. I will go in there before I go live to make sure that you have the supplies you need for whatever the activity is. It's not going to be like you're going to have to go out and get anything. It's going to be simple stuff like note cards, or if you don't have note cards, rip paper apart, like find a pin somewhere. It's not going to be anything intense supply wise, but I will tell you what you need beforehand so you can be prepared. You're going to see the little mini lesson plan that I will put together for that. I'm going to go live twice a week in each of those groups and teach a math lesson and a reading and writing lesson. So I don't know what the schedule of those looks like. I don't know what the demand for these are yet. So depending on that is whatever. But if the schedule doesn't match your schedule, if you can't be there live, the replays will be in the group for as long as you're in there. So that is an option. It's going to be $55 for the month of April. That gets you all of the lessons for that grade level and access to them for however long you need them. So the replays and everything will be in there if you can't make it live. So that's another option. So I'm going to do kindergarten through 5th, separate little groups for each one. And then so if that's more of what you're needing, just kind of like an overall general, you want to make sure your kids don't regress type thing and make sure they know what they need to know before they get to the next grade, that is going to be more what you're going to be looking for. Again, just message me if that's something that you are interested in, and I can give you more information about that. And when those are going to start, everything will start next week, because this will go through the month of April, since that's how long we're shut in now. So Score. And then the last thing is, again, this light bulbs group that's linked at the bottom. That's what that little pinned comment is down there. That's the link to the light bulbs group. And that's free for everybody. You can share that with whoever you think needs it. I would really appreciate it if you posted it on your wall, and I'm sure the people that need it will appreciate it too. That group, I'm going to be doing just general overview activities and tips and tricks for school while we're at home, or even like just in general, especially for summer. It's going to be amazing for summer. I'm going to be posting things that I'm doing with my own kids. I'm going to be posting things that are going to just help you stay busy and not go crazy in your house. But it's going to be more foundational learning, but also fun for even older kids that won't even know they're learning. And especially if you have older kids and younger kids, the older kids are going to be able to help the younger kids. So that's not all on you. I'm sure they already are, but that's what light bulbs is for. And also there's again, that question thread in the light bulbs group. If you have questions about your kiddos' assignments or whatever, just post a screenshot in the comments, be like, oh, what the hell do I do? And I will either answer it again in that thread or, make a video if I think enough people need to know the answer. So, it's going to be a safe space for all of us to just be during this time and to learn and grow together while we figure out what the hell we're doing. And, so I would really appreciate it if you shared it. But anyway, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway in there. So if you want to go in there and see what that giveaway is, hit the link, join the group, all the things. And there are questions when you join the group. It's just like, what grade is your kid in? What subjects do you need to see most? That's just going to help me know like what to put in there the most. So if you will answer those questions when you join, I would super appreciate it. There's an option to put your email there if you want to be on my email list that I'm starting. I'm going to be sending these things through email if you like to do that. I'm not going to bombard you or spam you with anything. It's just going to be cute ideas and stuff that I find. So maybe that if you don't see something in the group, I'm going to have extra bonuses in the email. So if you want to put your email there, awesome. If you don't, that's cool too. And then what else does it say? Oh, if you're interested in working in one-on-one with me, just let me know and then I can contact you to give you more information about that. So, please answer the questions when you join. It'd be cool of you. You're so welcome, Marisol. I'm here to help. So there's lots of options for you and your kiddos. You can either just join the free group or you can join a grade level group for $55 for April. And that's 8 lessons. When you break that down, that's 8 lessons in that group. So it's like less than $7 a lesson. So that's where I came up with that. But it's $55 for the month of April for the grade level groups. And it's $20 a session for 30 minutes on FaceTime one-on-one. And that I will actually be looking at your child's individual lesson plans from their teacher and kind of going from there. But that's more intense if you need that. Not intensive if you need that. So those are your options. I hope day 1 went amazing. Let me know what you need. I'm here for you. I love you. Happy home.